What's going on, y'all? It's your boy GP, and you're rocking with me on the AquaMethod Podcast. And today's going to be a special episode. It's going to be a different episode. I'm not recording this one in the place where I normally record. I'm actually recording it at a local comic book shop, which is not owned but operated by a good friend of mine. And he's going to be joining me soon. This episode of the podcast will be heavily edited because he will be going back and forth serving customers and talking to me, so just bear with me. This is episode 7. Thank y'all to everybody who has listened to the podcast so far. I really appreciate everybody. It means a whole lot. It means the world to me. I really appreciate it. And again, I'm looking for advertisers. I'm looking for sponsors. If you got something you want me to sell, you want me to talk about, just let me know. Send me an email, Grasshopper GP at yahoo.com. And I didn't realize that I put 3 S's in Grasshopper GP official, my YouTube page. So yeah, that's something I got to work on. But yeah, so send me an email with questions, comments about the podcast, any tips, anything you want to say, anything you want me to address on the show. Just let me know, and we'll get to it. This episode, I wanted to do like a video game episode, featuring a couple of people I know play video games a lot, who are really into the gaming culture. My homeboy Trent, y'all know him from a few episodes previous, and another homie of mine named Francis, who is also an avid gamer. And I wanted to get their perspective on things like that, but scheduling conflicts on my part prevented that from happening, but we'll get that going on eventually at some point. But yeah, again, I'm not getting a lot of listeners right now, but I'm still gonna keep going. I'm gonna keep on putting this podcast up every week, and I appreciate everybody who's listened to 1 minute of one episode, and I mean, like I said, that means a lot to me. So thanks a lot. And if the audio is different on this one, like I said, I'm recording this live at the comic book shop, at the local comic book shop, and this should be interesting. It should be kind of fun. This one might be kind of short, but we'll see what we can do with it, and that's what it's gonna be, you know. And here comes the man of the hour himself, Mr. Jeff, aka Cap. I call him Cap. I don't know why, but I call him Cap. And there he is. That's Mr. Jeff. He runs the local comic book shop, and he's a very good man. He's a good friend. He'll give the shirt off his back if you're cold outside and you're naked, and he's in one of your homies. He'll do whatever it takes to make sure that you're comfortable. What's going on, Cap?
Not much, man. He's lying. I ain't worth a damn. And I'm gonna apologize right up front. 2 things. I am at work, so I'm gonna be up and down. So sorry. And 2, I'm boring.
He's not. He's actually very interesting. He knows a lot about comic books. He's seen a lot, and he goes to a lot of cons and stuff like that. And I think that's really dope. So Cap, right now, in fact, he is rocking a Brony shirt, My Little Pony shirt. What is up with the Brony culture, Cap? What's new with it?
I'll be perfectly honest. I don't know. I've kind of fell out of it.
Yeah.
It seemed like when it started, it was a great kind of almost a punk rock. Yeah, I dig this, and I don't care if you don't like it or not.
Right.
And then when you turn around and look at the rest of the people in your counterculture, and you realize you don't necessarily want to be associated with most of them.
Right.
And it's like, you know what? I think I'm going to back out of this a little bit. Yeah, I watched a cartoon, but, you know, I'm cool. And this is just the first thing I grabbed out of the closet. I didn't even realize I was wearing it until you mentioned it.
Yeah, but like when it does seem like it fell off a little bit.
Yeah,
it does seem like it fell off a little bit, but at its peak, man, it was serious. There was a lot of dudes rocking My Little Pony T-shirts, and I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna be a part of it, but I'm interested that a lot of straight men, was rocking My Little Pony T-shirts.
Yep.
And it was a big deal. There was Brony cons and all kind of stuff, and people was, you know, knocking each other over to get autographs from what's her name? Tara Strong. Yeah.
She's a cutie though, so
she's a really nice looking lady.
Yeah, it's very sweet too, very very sweet.
Yeah.
But yeah, I go through stages. I'll get into something for a while and I'll bounce out of it and just kind of whatever piques my interest. And,
yeah.
You know. right now. I'm stuck on Legos. So
Yeah, you're a big Lego fan.
Yeah.
Cat, what's your collection now? What's
I don't even know.
you had to guess?
There's over 1,000 complete sets I have, and then as far as like loose stuff, goodness gracious, way too much. More Legos than any kid you know, I assure you.
Yep.
It's bad.
But so what's the last comic book convention you went to, Cap? How was that?
Went to one in con in Houston. I don't
Yeah,
remember which
you
one
said
it
that.
was. It was pretty good. You know, we got to meet Eric Larson again. Not Eric Larson. I'm sorry. Turtle guy. Oh man, that was stupid.
Peter Lard.
The other one. Eastman. Kevin Eastman. Thank you.
Eastman.
Yeah. He's always a nice guy, and got to talk to him. The guy that I went with is a huge fan, so he was excited.
That's awesome.
I met he got to meet Chewbacca, which was always cool. He's a nice guy. And just it was laid back. It was pretty fun, and not too many bad experiences. I met Jeff Smith, the guy that does Bone, and I always wanted to meet him. And he did me a giant Bone commission in one of my books.
Yeah.
Didn't charge me for it, which was awesome. But it's weird, man. There's so many cons now. We've got one coming up here in Lafayette.
Yeah.
Which is
Yeah.
At first I was like, it looks like it's be kind of small, but it looks, they're
It's
adding more and more to it.
Right.
So
I've never been. I'm looking forward to going to my first one. I don't know when it's going to be, but I can't wait to go to my first comic book convention.
Sometimes in October.
Okay.
I can look it up in a minute. I'm sure I have to get up in a second to help this lady. But it looks pretty good, man. Some of the guys from Boondock Saints are going to be there, and one of the guys that was a bit part in, he's the motion capture for Rocket Raccoon and Guardians of the Galaxy. His brother directed it.
That's dope.
A couple of artists, couple of Joe Rubenstein's an inker that's been inking for 30 years or so. I'm looking forward to meeting him. So it should be fun. It's always fun. I've never been to a con that wasn't fun.
Yeah, right. You ever get dressed up? Because I'm part of the class that I'm gonna go. I don't think I'm gonna ever get dressed up though.
I've done it twice.
Which it was?
I borrowed a costume from a local costume maker who is now professional set design and stuff like that, named Kelly Delcom. And he had a Golden Age Sandman costume that I wore.
Okay.
That was unbelievable.
Sandman from DC.
Right.
Okay.
With the old one with like the gas gun and stuff like that.
Right,
with the gas
right.
mask. And the costume was just flawless. I won the costume contest at the
What?
con. But to walk in the door of a con dressed like that, I didn't get in 2.5 hours. I didn't get but maybe 500 feet in the door because people kept coming up wanting photos and stuff like that. And I ended up getting to an artist that kept harassing me to take pictures with him, so I did. And it was really annoying, really upsetting because the day before I was told he didn't speak English, and I asked him for a sketch, and they told me it would be $500.
Wow.
And then the next day I'm in costume, and he's clearly speaking English to me, and he's certainly wanting my time.
Yeah.
And so I told him the pictures would be $500, and he looked at me like I was crazy. And when his agent realized who I was, that was the same guy, he kind of scoffed at me and pushed me along my way, and just a really bad experience. The next time I did it, I dressed up as Alex from A Clockwork Orange, which is my favorite book, my favorite movie.
Right.
And that character is, the iconography of it is well known because Rob Zombie has done a homage to it.
Yeah.
Bart Simpson has dressed like him. So, and I'm going to be right back.
And there goes Cap. He's gonna have a customer real quick, and then he'll be right back. And we're gonna keep talking about comic book culture and stuff like that. I really want to get his opinion on the tsunami of comic book movies like this comic book movie boom that's been going on. I feel like there's been comic book movies for a long time, as long as there've been comic books, with early Batman and Superman and all kinds of stuff like that. But I believe, in my opinion, starting with X-Men 1, the first X-Men movie that came out, it's been like a growing thing. It's been like a crescendoing wave of comic book movies, and I think that's interesting. And I wonder if there's gonna be, too much of a good thing, becomes a bad thing. And I wonder if there's gonna be too many, and people are just gonna get tired of it, and they're not gonna care, and they're gonna expect. Like, I remember that time when you didn't expect comic book movies. It was like a surprise. It was like awesome. Like, I finally get to see Spider-Man on a big screen with real people. It's kind of dope. And then, not every summer is a thing. So I just want to get his take on that. And here he comes. He's coming right back. After helping the customer. First of all, Cap, I'm not. I mean, you're cool, right? You can bounce back and forth. There's no big problem. All right.
Oh, not at all, man.
All right.
But yeah, so I dressed up as that character, and so a lot of people don't know that character or know the movie, so they kind of looked at me like they'd seen the iconography, but didn't know exactly what it was. Mm-hmm. So I didn't get bothered quite as much. Mm-hmm. And the character himself is such a antisocial punk that it's a lot of people kind of steered away from it. Like, the people that did know it seemed to kind of take it aback that,
right.
Because, yeah, sure, people love to dress up as Joker and all these other characters that are
bad guys,
crazy and villains and stuff like that. But Alex is a human, just a regular guy. Mm-hmm. In the book, he's 13, 13 when it starts. Mm-hmm. But he's an animal, he's trash. Mm-hmm. And I guess it just, people look at me when I wear that costume as like, why is this grown man dressing like this? What kind of person does it take to want to dress as that character? Right. And but every now and then somebody would come up, and I had a gentleman walk up to me and just kind of looked at me and went, "Old school's best school." And I was like, "Yep, you know what I'm talking about." Right. And he just kind of shook my hand and walked off. And that's not so bad. No, people don't bother me too much in that case. I did have a couple of girls ask to take a photo with me and tell me to do something Alex would do. Mm. And when I responded with, "What, you want me to sexually assault you right here?" Wow. She looked at me like I was crazy, and I was like, "Have you never seen the movie? Have you never seen the book? What do you think Alex would do?" And she got upset and ran off, and I was like, you asked for it. I gave you what you expect. Yeah. I guess not what you expected, but I gave you what you asked for. Yeah. Well, you described what she asked for. Hmm? You described what she asked for. Yeah. Yeah. But it's, I don't know. I'm not a real big people person, and I mean, because I work here, I'm really well. I've seen a lot in Lafayette. People that come here know me. Their families know me. I've been through several generations of families and kids. Yeah. So I can't go many places in town without someone that knows me or something like that. Right. And I'm a really shy guy. I'm a recluse. And I'm kind of an introvert. So I'm not real good in crowds, and I'm not real good as a guy, attention getter guy. It's not my thing. So it seems better for me not to do that, and I can, I say that and I realize what a hypocrite I am, because I'm the guy that's wearing the shiny shirts to these things. So I guess that's totally opposite of what I do is opposite what I say. Well, people become different people when they go to these conventions. Yeah, definitely. It's definitely a different crowd. Yeah. Even the people become more themselves. Yeah. Actually, even though they dress up as other people. Yep. It seems, from what I hear about the conventions. Yeah, you can you're free to be someone else. You're free to be, if you're the guy that's here every weekend playing card games and stuff, and you feel like a warrior in your heart, you dress up as Conan. For the weekend you get to be Conan. Speaking of that, because there is a lot of card games that gets played here. Magic, Yu-Gi-Oh, Card Fight, Vanguard, Buddy Fight, all kind of stuff. And they got Warhammer, and they got a lot of stuff going on. So you pretty much built a community here at the store. How do you feel about that? I'm proud of it. I mean, I know we're not supposed to be proud people, but I can't help it. When I first started working, it's been 11 years now, a lot of that stuff had either started to wane, or it had just started to wane at this store. And now over the course of the last 10, 11 years, it's come back probably better than it's ever been. Mm-hmm. And I'm seeing the kids of people I saw originally come in and play. Right. And it's great, man. I love it. I wouldn't change it for the world. They can be aggravating prima donnas sometimes. Yeah, but, all in all, I've made a lot of great friends here. I've made family, really, with those groups of people.
Right.
So it's good stuff. I mean, plus anything that gets a kid to come over and, if they're going to sit here and play card games, they're not wasting their money on drugs. They're doing math. They're reading.
Mm-hmm.
They're getting some social interaction, which some of these people drastically need. So it's good. It's there's nothing negative about it.
Right. Yeah. To keep it in the realm of comic books, when I was a kid, I was a big Archie comic books fan, and you're like Pops, from because Pops got the shop, and the whole gang will go to the Pops and hang out, and so you like Pops.
I never made a
people,
connection.
People do talk to you about their problems,
Yep.
and people do talk to you about what's going on in school and what's
true.
going on with the wife and stuff like that,
That's
and
funny, man. I never really thought about that.
Yeah, you just don't serve burgers and milkshakes. That's all. But
That's an idea.
yeah,
No, milkshakes and comics don't go together, man.
Right.
That's bad.
Nah.
Superman can fight, can take out pretty much anything, but man, a milkshake will take him out in a heartbeat.
Yeah. Superman's lactose intolerant.
Yep.
Especially when it comes to like pistachio milkshakes, the green ones.
Oh, I'll take him out.
Oh yeah. What else is going on? Oh yeah, like I wanted to ask you about how you feel about the comic book movie boom that's going on. Like, it's like,
I'll
business.
get to that in a second.
Business calls. You know what? I'm gonna just keep it going. I'm gonna keep it live. I don't think I'm gonna edit it as much as I thought I was, but
Wrong number.
that's how it is.
Yep. At least it wasn't asking for Foot Locker.
Yeah, they do that a lot.
So, man, it's a double-edged sword, man. 'cause
Right.
It's great when you look at stuff like what Marvel's doing with the shared universe with Avengers, and they're bringing out stuff like Ant-Man and Guardians of the Galaxy, which most non-comic people have never really heard of or know anything about, and they're bringing them to the mainstream, which brings more people into the shops and more people checking out comics.
Right.
It brings it, especially the more fringe characters, it brings them out and helps broaden everyone's horizons.
Right.
But on the opposite end of it, you've got Warner Brothers putting out Man of Steel that came out a few years ago, which was dismal.
Yeah, most people didn't like it. I'm one of them. I know you really didn't like it.
I hated it.
Yeah.
And this Fantastic Four movie Fox just put out,
Woo!
which was hideous.
That was terrible.
And
I like the actors.
yeah,
But
it
that
had a good
movie,
cast.
Yeah. Woo. That was a bad
There
movie,
was
bro.
all kind of problems with that movie.
Yep.
Behind the scenes,
Yeah.
it was a problem from the get-go, it seems like. And the negativity from that seems to it resonates into the comics, because then you see people immediately like, oh, Fantastic Four. I don't have anything to do with that.
Right.
Oh, Superman, Man of Steel, blah, blah, blah. So if it's good, it's awesome. But when it's bad, it just I don't know. I can't say it damages what we're doing, but it doesn't help.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is like Watchmen. Watchmen was a fun movie. It was a decent movie.
Yeah.
Especially for a film that was considered a book that was considered unfilmable. But then they changed the end and made it into a completely different thing.
Yeah.
And then people read the comic and are like, well, this is weird.
The book is better.
Yeah.
The book is better.
And with the exception of, I don't know, the Twilight movies, it's pretty much always the case.
Mm-hmm.
But, I'm happy with it. At least it gets people talking about it. If nothing else, if you saw V for Vendetta and you come in here and you want to ask about it, or you want to talk to someone about it, or you want to complain about it, it's easy to go, yeah, but check the book out. This is, the book wasn't trying to make a statement about George Bush like the movie kind of was. The book's a British thing. It's got its own thing. And
right.
So I guess even if it's bad, it still gets people wanting to talk about it. So I don't know. Can't complain.
I wonder if, because like too much of a good thing becomes a bad thing. Like the most popular sport in America right now is the NFL, and they keep adding stuff and they keep changing things. And I wonder if you're gonna change it to the point where, or you're gonna keep adding things to the point where people are not gonna like it. So I wonder if there's gonna be too many comic book movies at the same time, and people are gonna be like, "Wow, another comic book movie." You know, how you feel about that?
I think it looks like they're purposely they're conscious of that.
Yeah.
Because they're spacing the movies out, and even the different companies are making a point not to try to infringe on each other too much.
Yeah.
So there's not a whole bunch of crossover. And, you know, then there's other cases where you've got comic book movies that you didn't even know were comic book movies. You know, stuff like Ghost World or Road to Perdition, and things like that. So they're going to be out there anyway. It's just... I think they're making an effort not to do it. So it shouldn't be too bad until someone decides, hey, you know what? Let's try to compete with Marvel and wipe them out, or let's try to,
right.
You know, and that's when you end up getting a mess.
Yeah.
Like the old wrestling thing they did, when two companies finally went head to head and decided they were going to put each other out of business. One of them went out of business.
Right.
So with a little luck, you know, they'll be smart about it.
It's booming, man. Because now it's spreading to the TV, to the streaming, to the Netflix and Hulu's of the world and stuff like that. And it's getting real deep.
Yep. Did you get a chance to see the Daredevil stuff?
I have not yet.
Oh, man.
I hear it's excellent.
Oh, it's phenomenal.
I hear it's really good.
I was extremely happy with that.
Are you excited for Batman vs Superman?
Not at all.
Me neither.
Yep.
Like I'm going to check it out, but I'm not. I'm a little scared to approach it. You know, I don't think it's gonna be good.
See, I don't. It's the same writer and director for Man of Steel. And the writer,
and you didn't like Man of Steel?
I didn't, and I don't. Pretty much everything the guy has written has been mediocre at very best. So I just got no interest in it at all. At this point, if it's not being put out by Marvel, I probably won't even check it out.
Right.
You know? So I'll be right back again.
I'm doing this on a day that is not that busy, on purpose. Well, like I said, this whole podcast episode is the result of scheduling conflicts from me that stopped me from doing the video gaming podcast with my two associates, my two homies, you know, and that's why I'm doing it today. And but today is not nearly as busy as a peak day of the week, so it's good that we get to do this. But yeah, superhero movies, comic book movies, I like them. I'm gonna keep watching them, and I watch all of them. You know, Cap, he's strictly, if it's not made, like he just said, if it's not made by Marvel, he's not gonna watch it. And I can dig that, because Marvel cares about their characters and they care about the fans. They seem to care about the fans more than most people. So so it's gonna be a beautiful thing, but I'm just worried about it being too much. But I'm excited, man. They got movies lined up until 2017. That's a big deal. Like, to have that type of foresight and that type of planning. I think in the Avengers, Infinity War Parts 1 and 2, when those movies come out, I think they'll be groundbreaking, earth-shattering, box office smashes. I can't wait for them. I think they'll be really dope. What else coming out real soon? I'm really excited to see Captain America Civil War. You know, introducing Spider-Man. I believe Ant-Man's gonna be in there. So it's gonna be awesome to see all that interaction. And it's kind of like the movies are like comic books, because you get a comic book every Wednesday or whenever your comic books come out where you from, and you read it, and then there's like another episode. You know, another episode's coming. You know. And what they're doing is they're pretty much making 2.5, 3 hour TV shows that come out once a year, you know, and they tie in, and I think that's cool. I think that's awesome, man. Like, that's what you wanted right in the beginning. Like, when I said, like, I was really young when X-Men came out. The first, Hugh Jackman as Wolverine, and when the first one came out, I was real young, and I thought like man, you finally get to see it. Don't get me started because I was a big Nightcrawler fan. So when X-Men 2 came out, wow, like finally get to see Nightcrawler teleporting for real. That's kind of dope, man. But it's awesome, man. But yeah, I love coming to the comic book shop. I try to come once a week. and just hang out and you meet people, and people come here to meet each other. This is where people meet up at, and it's a community, and the sense of community, just from an observational standpoint, is awesome just to see, because like you can be yourself, you can be among people that you like, you can be among people that you don't know, but they like the same things that you like, and it's cool, and like I tell people, comic books are not. I mean, there are comic books for kids, but comic books aren't inherently a children's thing. They're not. They're made for adults. I mean, they're made by adults, and depending on what you read, they're made for adults. So if you're near a comic book shop, if you're near a local comic book shop, stop in, jump in there, and you'll be surprised how many celebrities are into comic books and stuff like that. What's the most surprising celebrity Cap, that is into comic books?
I don't know, man. There's quite a few. I mean, everyone knows. Vin Diesel's been very open about his nerd stuff.
Yeah.
Ronda Rousey.
You had CM Punk in here a few times.
Yeah, CM Punk used to come to the store when he was on tour.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the wrestlers, real big fans. Like the comics and stuff. Had a couple of actors and stuff come in here. Charisma Carpenter, that was in Buffy and stuff like that, came in one day.
Mm-hmm.
Totally floored me.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, man, I don't know. I think for some reason Ronda Rousey's the one that probably that surprises me the most.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah, she's comics, anime.
In particular what she might be into?
I do not. I know she's in the Dragon Ball Z. She plays World of Warcraft, and she's loves it. And it's just like I don't know. I don't know. It just catches me. I don't know. I guess for some reason I don't associate. I have a hard time associating the beast she is in the ring.
Right.
But I guess I should. I mean, she's basically a superhero at this point.
Yeah, no, she is a superhero. Yeah.
So I guess it shouldn't be so much of a surprise.
Yeah, if I was like a director of photography or some high up executive at like a magazine, like a sports magazine, I would make like a superhero cover with the world's fastest man, like Usain Bolt, the world's strongest man, whoever he is, and like the world's best swimmer, Michael Phelps, and Ronda Rousey, and it'd be like because they're like real superheroes,
Yeah.
And I like to mess with Cap a lot because I like to talk about sports a lot, and he don't really know too much. So it's like I've said it on a previous episode of the podcast. Athletes are like superheroes; they're the modern day superheroes, and that's why I don't like PEDs. I don't like people getting extra help, even though one of our superheroes took a PED to become a superhero, Captain America.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, how about that?
That is quite true.
But like they said in the movies, I don't know if they said it in the comic books, because I wasn't a big Captain America fan outside of like the tie-ins, like the Civil War stuff. He took some sort of enhancement to become a superhero, but if he wasn't a good person, it would have turned him into a monster.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. So is that the same in the comic books too? Or
I honestly, I think so, but I don't remember exactly. I didn't read a lot of that Golden Age stuff.
Yeah.
So I want to say it came from the comic, but I don't want to lie to you and
right.
Have someone jump on you and tell you I was wrong. So I'm gonna go with I don't know. Yes.
But Cap, what's your you got a lot of old stuff in your own collection. What you think is the most valuable?
Oddly enough,
one of the most valuable books that you got.
Oddly enough, the last of my collection just walked out of my house last week. Yesterday.
Yeah.
Yep. I had a friend of mine made me an offer I couldn't pass up, and it had just been sitting there. I mean, at the time it was X-Men #1. That I had signed by Stan Lee. And I had acquired an entire run of X-Men, 1 through 600 and whatever it was.
Mm-hmm.
And but so yeah, definitely the X-Men #1. That was most valuable, my favorite one in the book, in the collection. It was, it was given to me as a gift by an ex, and it was just always that book that was like, oh, hey, check this out. Something you may not have ever actually put your hands on.
Right.
But I also had a second appearance of Hal Jordan. A bunch of the newer first appearances and stuff like that. that I didn't even realize I had until this guy started going through the collection.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I ended up with close to 50,000 comics, and now I just have my hardbacks and stuff like that, and that pretty much a lot of it was duplicated anyway. I mean, I've got, if you Vendetta, I've got 4 or 5 times now.
Yeah.
And it's like, I just don't need all that. Do I need the issues when I've got the big hardback and the smaller hardback with a sketch in it? I don't need extra. It's just a lot of extra stuff.
Right.
Then at one point I was paying for a storage unit just to keep the comics in. I realized I probably spent more on the storage unit than on the comics in the first place.
Right.
So, and I do that. I binge and purge, man. I'll get into something, and when I get rid of it, it's time to get out of it, I'll make space for something else.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I do.
Yeah, man. We talked about what makes you excited about the comic book culture. Is there anything that scares you? Like, like man, I don't like the way this is going, or...
Not really, man.
That's good.
The only thing that and I won't say disturbs me about it,
Mm-hmm.
but I keep an eye on it. So that I like to keep an eye on. There's a lot of young women coming into comics now.
That's dope.
Getting into the games and stuff, and it's not everywhere. And I don't let it happen here because I'll come down on somebody hard for it. But there's constantly stories of girls getting messed with when they come to store comics.
Right. Yeah.
And I mean, and it's everywhere, as I'm sure. It's not just but because this is normally such a boys' club, a lot of women or especially a lot of women don't want to come in here because they expect to be treated that way.
Really?
And I demand, to the point where some of these kids are scared of me, but I demand that they respect people when they come in here.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to let them treat a lady, like they're anything but. So it's, I don't want to say it's a bad thing, but it's, it's just something I personally keep an eye on because I've got a number of young ladies that I've watched grow up here,
Mm-hmm.
and I just refer to them as my girls, and it's funny. I saw them talking on Facebook a couple days ago about doing some modeling, and one's like a hardcore feminist now, and one's a lawyer,
Mm-hmm.
And it's like I'm so proud of these girls. I watch these girls grow up. They're like family to me. They babysat for me and stuff, and it made me think. Did they become so independent because they hung out at the comic shop with people that made it a point to lift them up, or
Right.
is that just the kind of women, the young girls that are cool with coming to a comic shop, the ones that are going to excel and become amazing adults anyway?
Yeah.
Don't just,
You never know.
Yeah,
Like, it could be a combination of the two.
it could be.
Yeah,
but because I've been blessed, man. Like I said, I've made family here.
Yeah.
And there was a couple of cases where guys would try something stupid.
Yeah.
And I'd shut them down hard. And sometimes I thought it wasn't my business, and sometimes I was like, well, if it's not my business anyway, I'm not going to let you mess with this kid in my store,
Yeah.
So,
That's
other
good.
than that, man,
See, you're a good man, Cap. I keep telling you.
you keep perpetrating that rumor, man, people are going to start taking advantage of it. False. Yeah, the one guy, well, then again, if I tell you the one guy that was a young lady, and it wasn't even in my store. It was a young lady that a guy kept grabbing on. And she kept trying to get him to stop, and he wouldn't. And no one around would do anything about it. And the kid that came told me about it, I jumped him. I'm like, so why don't you do something about this?
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, well, there was him and 3 friends, and there was me and her.
Mm.
And I didn't want to get beat up. I was like, I don't care. Well, I understand not wanting to get beat up,
Right.
but do something. He's like, well, I did. I invited him to come over here.
Yeah.
Okay. So I told the guy when he walked in, I had a mutual friend. He's like, oh yeah. And I told him the girl's name, and he put his head down. It's like, yes, sir. And I was like, I'm going to tell you right now. See these big old boys in this store playing cards? You ever go near that little girl again, I'm going to get one of these big old boys to sit on you, and I'm going to take a hammer, and I'm going to break every bone in your hands. And then you're going to call your parents and call the cops. And we're going to tell them why I did that to you.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can't keep your hands off of a little girl.
Yeah.
And he ran off. I guess I scared him. But so I guess I'm not that good of a person because I'll break a guy's hands if I have to.
I mean, well, I don't justify hand breaking, but if you're trying to do something good, then trying to help somebody out. There's nothing wrong with that.
Very wise, intelligent man once said, "By any means necessary." Yeah.
They got to get something.
I don't know.
But
Okay. And here's where we go. Awkward silence. Okay, never mind.
Stupid, man.
Yeah. No, I guess they're good.
Okay, that's good.
Doing podcasts?
Yeah.
Really?
Yep. Yeah, man. AquaMethod Podcast. Check me out on YouTube. You know,
You got video. In this,
AquaMethod.
Aqua Mecca?
Method.
Method?
Yeah.
Except don't listen to this one because I suck.
Oh,
I'm boring.
Nah, this is a good one. Nice quick one. But yeah, man.
So I'm gonna turn this around.
All right.
Fantasy football.
Yeah.
When we doing this?
Well, you see, you got to get into it. You got to learn how to do it.
Dude, I already know how. I want O.J. Simpson.
Oh my God. There
I
you
want
go.
Brett Favre.
Here you go.
I want the refrigerator from Little Giants.
Yeah.
I
Right.
want her.
All right.
She was awesome.
Yeah.
Oh no, she's Icebox. Yeah, Icebox. That's it.
One of them.
Yeah, Icebox.
Yep.
Yeah. And I don't know, like Air Bud.
There we go.
I'm in.
And you're gonna win all the leagues.
Oh yeah, clearly. I've already won already. My team I won the internet for sure. Done. But
Cap
maybe not.
is a jerk sometimes because he likes to root for teams that Louisiana sports fans don't like. So he likes the Cowboys,
Yep.
and you like you say you like the Falcons,
Falcons.
and who else you like?
Alabama Crimson Tide.
You
baby.
like the Crimson
Roll
Tide.
Tide.
Yeah.
Yeah, I showed up at my godchild's birthday party last weekend. Her mother, my sister, graduated from LSU. I made it a point to show up in my Alabama shirt, and it went over well, not real well.
Right.
And then of course I bought the €1 drum kit. So, such is life.
Right. And then I like to quiz Cap on sports trivia, and he gets 90% of it wrong.
Oh, yeah.
And the stuff that he gets right it's always surprising what he gets right. But let's talk about it because I've talked about sports on every podcast so far. I think the football season is starting in September, almost. I think like 3 weeks or 2 weeks, something like that. Are you excited?
That's the one with where you dribble?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
I'm pumped.
Dribble on the grass.
Sport ball is my favorite thing
Yep.
ever. Yeah. So, doing a podcast.
See, and Cap is getting hugged by a patron. What's your name, fella?
I'm
The Asian. And he is indeed an Asian fella.
Yep.
I'm recording a episode of my podcast, my man. You want to say something or what's going on?
That's a nice microphone.
Thank you.
It's
Thank you. I
pretty
appreciate it, man. I work hard for it.
I feel like hanging it from the ceiling and seeing if somebody's ready to rumble. That would be like cool.
Whisper. You have to,
Oh, yeah.
You have the hair.
Oh yeah. But so yeah, but, dude, man, I'm pumped up about football this season. My teams are gonna dominate the other teams, and as long as the Saints lose, I don't care.
Right. See, big Saint. Like I said, right. He's a big Saints hater,
Yep.
and because it brings so much joy to the Saints fans of Louisiana.
Yeah. My father was a Saints fan during the Aints and all that stuff. So growing up, it was always pull against whoever my father's pulling for.
Mm-hmm.
So I grew to like the Cowboys and the Falcons because of that. So, now it just kind of stuck with me, and we got a lot of friends, a lot of people that come here, they're big Saints fans, and it's just it brings me some kind of joy to just be able to remind them that the Saints are not very good.
We won a Super Bowl, Cap. It was a long time ago now, but we won the Super
A
Bowl.
broken clock is right twice a day.
But it's not like that. It's not like that in the NFL. Like you can have like decades of mediocrity, and the Saints
and
had
we
that.
have.
The Saints had that, but now we've reached this point where we're pretty good. Like we're always in contention. We haven't won it since 2009, 2010, but we're always in contention. They're talking about us like we're a good team, which is good. They don't talk about the Jacksonville Jaguars like a good team.
People talked about Milli Vanilli like they were good music too. Doesn't mean they were.
Oh, Cap. Well, I would just don't compare Milli Vanilli to the New Orleans Saints, please.
You know, at least they're not deflating footballs.
Right.
You know, so I guess
See,
it could be worse.
So you do know a little bit. So you up to date on a little bit of it.
Oh yeah. Oh, if it means causing problems, you know, I'm in.
Outside of the O.J. Simpson thing, he doesn't play anymore, Cap. By the way.
Wait, what?
Yeah, he doesn't. He hasn't played in a long time. O.J. Hall of Famer though.
I mean, he hadn't played.
He hasn't played in quite some time. There was an issue in the '90s that prevented him from making a comeback or anything like that.
Man, next thing you tell me Larry Bird ain't playing no more.
Yeah, he hasn't. He's still in the league. He's an executive.
Wait, what?
Yeah, he's an executive. He's like
Executive of 3-point shots?
No, he's an executive of a team. I believe he's the general manager of the Pacers. Correct me if I'm wrong, people on the comment section.
I thought you would tell me to correct you if you were wrong.
Right.
Wait, how can he be the general manager of the Pacers?
Because he's from Indiana.
But he was a Celtic.
But he's not going to be the general. He don't necessarily have to be the general manager of the Celtics if they don't have an opening for that position.
Yeah. Man, that's weird. Next thing you tell me, you know, like Joe Namath ain't playing no more.
Now Joe Namath hasn't played in a long time.
Yeah.
What was the last team Joe Namath played for?
The Jets.
It wasn't the Jets.
I have no clue.
The Rams. Joe Namath ended his career as a Los Angeles Ram.
Los Angeles.
They were in Los Angeles at the time.
I thought they were St. Louis.
They're in St. Louis now.
Are they?
Yeah. And these are the conversations we have, man. And I'm a sports fan, but I'm not no sports genius, you know, like the level of some other people. But I feel like a sports wizard when it comes to Cap.
Oh yeah. Oh sure. Yeah.
But again, correct me if I'm wrong on the comment section because I might be wrong. I don't think so.
It probably has a lot to do with the fact that I'm not, you know, unlike you. You're built like you could play sports. I'm built like I'm the ball. So you know, it's just how it is.
I haven't played sports since I was in basketball. I think I retired at 13, 14, before high school. Yeah, I retired and I gave it up. You know,
I played like little league basketball for one season.
Yeah.
And I was way too aggressive for it.
Yeah.
And they told me I should change schools till school had a football team.
That's dope.
Yeah, I didn't.
I didn't know that.
Yep.
Yeah, that's cool.
I failed. Someone failed to give me the memo that when you block in basketball, you're not supposed to swing.
No.
And so I fouled out of a number of games, and they called it for this season. They kept referring to it as a big slap, and I was like 14th string or something like that. So I only get put out if we were losing really bad or winning really, really well. So, but you know, hey, I tried it.
You're right. That's good.
I scored 4 points in a season.
Hey.
I didn't like, you know, shooting into somebody else's goal.
Oh, that's
I only
good.
tripped
I've always seen that a bunch of times when I was a kid.
I only tripped once.
Oh, that's
you
good.
know. So, you know, I can't yeah, you know, that was my sport expertise.
Yeah.
I played baseball for a season, and by play I meant sat on the bench.
Hey.
But I look great in the pants. Probably not, but
All right, man. But I actually got about 45 minutes out of this, so this was all right. Anything you want to say before we get out of here, Cappy?
not really, man. I'm you know.
You had a good time doing this, or what?
Yeah, dude. I hope I don't run people off.
Nah.
But yeah, man.
You might bring people in, hopefully.
I doubt it. No one wants to hear me, man. But yeah, dude. Yeah, anytime, man. Especially if you got something, you know, that I know anything about, I'll be happy to talk about it.
Yeah.
You know me, I never shut up.
But is there anything you want to promote? Like you have a Twitter. You want to talk about your Twitter?
I have a Twitter. I don't really do much on it though. It's just Jeffrey, I believe.
Just Jeffrey.
Yep, Jeffrey.
All right.
It's mostly just wrestling stuff because
Yeah.
you know, when I do those things and hang out with those guys. But no, that's about it. I'm pretty boring. I'm on Facebook and I just post a bunch of stupid stuff on there. So it's, you know, dumb jokes.
All right. Final question before we go.
Which guy?
Favorite comic book series, favorite superhero, least favorite comic book series, least favorite superhero. Go.
Favorite superhero? I'm gonna go with Moon Knight. It's what got me into comics.
Okay.
It's a character most people are completely unaware of, but it's just,
Moon Knight.
Yep, one of those characters I've always loved.
Mhm.
Favorite comic book series is probably V for Vendetta. Always loved that book. I've read it multiple times. I own it multiple times. Least favorite, anything. I hate Superman.
I'm not a Superman fan either.
It's so archaic and so Boy Scout.
He has all the powers.
Yeah, and I just doesn't appeal to me. It never has.
Me neither.
And comic series,
Me also.
there's so many I hate.
Yeah.
Oh, man, don't get me started on Spawn. I hate
Yeah, I do
Spawn.
know how you feel about that, man.
I got a problem with ElfQuest because the creators, the gentleman that creates it, and I say gentleman, a very loose term, has a thing that I don't, personal preference for his ladies that I don't care for, preferably that they're underage. But, so...
Allegedly.
Yeah, allegedly. Yeah, allegedly in the fact that I knew one of them, but yes, allegedly. I cannot
Anyway.
accuse him of that. And oddly enough, the comic series I don't like is generally because I don't like the people involved in it. I've never even read a Spawn comic to know if I actually dislike Spawn. I just hate Don McFarlane, so I won't support
Right.
his stuff. So but yeah, for just books I hate, I'd have to go Spawn.
Okay. All right. Well, that's the podcast. Episode 7 of the AquaMethod Podcast. I really appreciate everybody that's listened to this. Thank you, Cappy, for being a part of it. It means a lot
My
to
pleasure,
me.
man.
You
Sorry,
know,
I had to get up and keep moving.
that's all right. That's all right. We made it work.
Yep.
We made
And,
it work. I didn't pause. I didn't edit anything.
Nice.
You know.
And
So
to anybody out there looking at buying comics, don't buy Spawn.
like I always say, man, I appreciate everybody listening. If y'all got anything y'all want me to advertise, just shoot an email, grasshoppergp@yahoo.com. At GrasshopperGP on Twitter. Grasshopper Official on YouTube with 3 S's for right now until I can get that changed. And that's it. Y'all be good. Thank y'all for listening. I really appreciate it. Live from the comic book store. Live from the comic book store. All right, y'all be good.